You're very welcome. 4th of August 2022 at 10 a.m. GMT. It's the beautiful truth with Fintan Dunn reporting seriously that Supercovid is coming. When? We'll see. That's what this is about. But a much more virulent form of COVID is on the way. That's the special report which we have for you. What's that about? Well, you do remember that once upon a time we had a disease that used to affect the lower respiratory system. That was the early Wuhan and Delta versions of the COVID. And then we were blessed with Omicron, which had a preference and ability to infect the upper respiratory system, but not so much ability to move down and cause problems further down. That's been a break for us all, and that's our current happy situation. But what if it flipped back? What if it flipped back and redeveloped an ability to affect our lungs? Well, those are the concerns which have been raised by Geert van den Bosch. And Geert is an experienced industry professional involved in vaccine development with Gavi, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, GSK. He's at the top of the field, and he has deep analysis of the COVID immunodynamics, which inform his concern that we are at great risk of a more virulent version of this coming out. And that's something that we need to address. There are serious issues been raised by Geert van den Bosch, and we look in deep at this in the special feature which we have for you. It's in the link below if you'd like to check it out. It's a full analysis of the case for Supercovid coming back and why you might need to prepare for it. It's uncensored, it's on Rumble, and that way everybody's happy, including YouTube, who don't want content on the platform which might be in contravention of their community guidelines. So we're happy to go along with that. So you have the basic outline of it there. If you'd like to get the full skinny on that, uncensored, just click the link in the description below and we'll continue right on. I hope you like the presentation, and I hope you'll also come back here to discuss it when you've looked in depth at this case we're making that Supercovid is coming. Also, you'll recognize maybe Willem Engel, who's been a guest on this show. Well, over the weekend, great interview with Willem Engel on a podcast which is being run by Dolores Cahill, also a guest on the show, who I had a great discussion with. And they were talking about what's happening with the Dutch farmers. Let's have a little listen in. It's quite good.
Where you say we have to take care of human health, animal health, and environmental health. And everything is connected, so we are looking for a balance in it. Where it becomes very obvious that it's a scam is that for each of those, the person, the individual, has to make the sacrifice. And we will go into that later on a little bit more, but we actually have to sacrifice our inalienable human rights to solve the problem, to rebalance human health, animal health, and our environmental health. But if you zoom in on those three topics, it is the health transition to a digital transition, digital surveillance. CO2 or climate is about the energy transition. Nitrogen is about the food transition. These are the agendas that are behind it, and they have nothing to do with keeping the planet in balance. They have everything to do with power, control, and surveillance.
Now that is excellently well put.
That's so good, isn't it? Nice one, Willem. Maybe we'll speak with Willem again soon. There's such a nutshell. COVID, climate, and nitrogen. Surveillance, energy, and food. All driven by modelling systems. Modelling in COVID, all about health, really about surveillance, control. Modelling in relation to CO2, all about saving the planet, really about taking control of energy and milking you for useless energy systems that you don't actually need, which cost a fortune. Guess who the fortune goes to? And then nitrogen, the new one they've discovered as another stool, another modelling and scientific projection. Trust the science, of course. The science now being as infallible as the Pope used to be. Of course, that's appropriate in a religion, I suppose, infallibility being pretty much par for the course. Meanwhile, in other news, America was waking up today to the tragic news that Nancy Pelosi in her plane was not shot down by the CCP. The America waking up to the stunning realization that they're still stuck with Nancy Pelosi herself, but the entire thing merely a diversion in order to assist with the pivot away from Russia as a principal enemy, and to sort of spread the enemy thing a little more broadly, and at the same time divert away from the economic issues. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, clashes continue in the Bakhmut area in Donetsk, and the relentless advances, slow and methodical, by Russian forces continue. The entire concept now of Ukraine being in a position to mount a sophisticated counter-offensive is being slowly backburnered. So that was a nice way to segue away, as you see, from Ukraine, promising action in the future, but then dropping it off the agenda. This is a favourite tactic of mainstream, which is used pivoting. You noticed how it was used in order to pivot away from COVID to Ukraine smoothly, and that way burying all the questions that people were about to raise about COVID. And when it's time to pivot away from Ukraine, there will be something else waiting there to mass force feed everybody about, to obliterate all trace of the previous psychological operation which they're running. You know, it may have been a record, blistering, record-breaking temperature for half an hour, for a day, one day there, a few weeks ago in the United Kingdom, but we're probably not going to fry any day soon, because this is the warming trend for the last 17 years, according to a rarely referenced urban heat-free database. That's one where the readings haven't been affected by the instruments being too close to sources of heat, thus contaminating the results. No, this is from a bunch of conspiracy theorists called the Natural Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the NOAA, which is an official government body in the United States. That's whose data set this is. Shows very little evidence of a warming trend, does it actually? And that's about what you'd expect, because in fact over the last, since 2005, where this goes back to, it's actually not been, in terms of solar activity, that intense. We've had a very low sunspot cycle in the interim, and so that's about what you'd expect, and there hasn't been the El Nino driver that there was in the late 90s, so you pretty much expect it to be around about this. Well, at least that's one good thing. For granted that we're not going to all fry. It's a start. What do you want? And let's get to some of your questions and comments which came up on the videos on Rumble, for example, on this one there up last week on July 29th. And just a comment there from Rutherford, who says, brilliant, but can you please put up a link to the Solaris report? Yeah, there's an excellent piece there. Yeah. Those links, you see, just go to the video there. This works on YouTube as well, and there you see links. And no matter what you're watching, you'll always find that in my vids. All the stuff I'm referring to, you'll get links to it, like that, links. And when you click on that, and that opens, there's multiple links. 1, 2, 3, 4, all contained in that one link. So that's how you do it, and thanks, Rutherford, for that. And Froxel said, read Psychology, excellent book on the subject, because we were criticising there, Peter McCullough was anyway, psychologists, for their role in all of this medical abuse, and recommending this book, The Road to Malpsychia, Humanistic Psychology and Our Discontents, Joyce Milton. Search Google for that. And there it is on Amazon.com, and that looks interesting, The Road to Malpsychia, about how Maslow's prediction that humanistic psychology will create an ideal society made up of self-actualized men and women, and the involvement of Timothy Leary and the LSD movement. That looks like quite interesting stuff. Maybe somebody's familiar with that stuff already, but thank you very much for the comment and for the link to the material. Meanwhile, back on YouTube, I know some of you are just loving it that there's the two channels now, Fintan on YouTube and Fintan Uncensored on Rumble, and that reflected in the Green Utopia video. Donna says, go to Rumble to hear so much more. Yeah, exactly. It's great to be able to speak uncensored. And Hook says, because of you, I have a Rumble account. Cheers. Yeah, well, way to go, because, you know, we got to support Rumble too, because after all, it is an alternative channel, and we do need to lend support there. Otherwise, we never dig ourselves out of this hole where YouTube's the only place where we can comment. So great to see the feedback on Rumble, folks, and the fact that you guys are liking it and liking the puppies. I know that the puppy's just getting addictively cute now. Yeah, one of them is totally addictively cute. You'll see. I'll have to present again. So I will do that, and thanks for the feedback on that too. So thanks for all your comments, and that wraps it up for part one from me and from these guys. And you can continue right on right now into part two of this, which is waiting for you. That Supercovid is coming, and that link is in the description, where we continue straight on to part two, uncensored on Rumble. Great to be able to do that, and I look forward to you joining me over there in just a moment, because that's a wrap from this edition of The Beautiful Truth with Fintan Dunn reporting. I'll be back soon. I hope you join me for that, and for more uncensored content also on Rumble. But in the meantime, this has been Fintan Dunn reporting. See you soon.